Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit. Something a little bit different, I think. We could just do the whole straight up WTF War Z, but... oh my god. That might very well be the most hideous texture I've ever seen in anything. But this game has had so much controversy around it. So much that I feel like just going into it, sight unseen, and trying to figure it out from the start might very well be the way to do it. Plus, this is a survival game anyway, so the last thing I really want to do is go into it with full knowledge of what's going on, because that kind of defeats the point of the exercise. So, we'll see how this turns out. It may very well be that this video isn't even good enough to go on the channel, in which case, well, you're not hearing any of this, but hey. So, the War Z is by Hammerpoint Interactive. It started with controversy initially, simply because it popped up so soon after DayZ's rather massive explosion of popularity. So that was kind of a big deal. A lot of people accused it of being a ripoff. The devs claimed they'd had it in development before DayZ actually popped out, although there's really not a huge amount of proof of that. And the game itself is very similar in the notion that you are tossed into a world and you are expected to survive with zombies and, of course, other players around the place. Speaking of other players, looks like there might be one over there. I have to wonder if he actually wants to kill me. The only weapon I currently have is a flashlight. I guess this guy's friendly. He seems like he might be. He is saying in the proximity that he is friendly, so I guess I'll stick with him. You can hit people with the flashlight. I'm not sure if you can do anything else with it, but that's really all you start with, aside from bandages, a granola bar, and a can of soda. So what I will say from the start is the game runs like crap. Like, it really genuinely does. I mean, it's not even a good-looking game. The texture quality is nothing short of hideous. As you can see as well, it's not just the texture quality, the actual modeling is awful. Look at how jagged these rocks are, for instance. Just in general, the game looks awful, and it's a game based on War Inc., which is a free-to-play game produced by the same company. So I guess that's kind of to be expected. That looks like a zombie over there. Although that area is kind of like some kind of military base, I guess, so I think it's fairly likely that we might actually want to go in that direction. The whole idea of survival is an interesting one, certainly, but at this point, it seems more like I'm gonna want to try and survive the terrible frame rate and awful texture quality as opposed to anything else. Now, what kind of made me scratch my head and set a few warning signs off for me has got to be the fact that this game actually has microtransactions in it and also costs money to start with. Currently on Steam, it's about $15 or your regional equivalent. Sneaking up on this is going to be really, really difficult. I don't know if it's actually possible. Oh, you can go prone at least, so that's useful. Is that a zombie or a... what the hell is that? No, that's a player. Okay, it was just moving in a really, really weird way. I guess if we got all of these guys together, then we might be able to actually loot the base. I'm also noticing, like, I'm getting motion sick already, as in, like, the FOV seems to be really bad. It's kind of hard to tell. I sort of have to guess at it. Yeah, it doesn't seem that great. I'm going to see if there's anything in the options menu that allows me to change it. Short answer, no. Long answer, no. As you can see, there's just kind of overall quality. You can go to custom, but it doesn't seem to actually let you change anything, at least when you're in the game. Maybe you have to be out of it in order to do that. Change fire rate, steady aim. Alright, well, most of that kind of makes sense, I suppose. The question is, can I even get into this base and do anything? Turning off my flashlight would kind of be a good idea. Didn't mean to eat that, but hey, there we go. Sneaky sneak. What the hell just hurt me? Did I just take full damage from that? Wow, I didn't even do anything. It's nothing short of insanity. Well, there's gunshots going off. I don't actually have a gun, so... I guess if I'm really, really sneaky, I might be able to just make my way through the horribly pixelated bushes and actually make my way to the military base and possibly find something to fight with. But as I was talking about, and I can't really show you it without leaving the server, unfortunately, you can actually buy items which you can use in the game, which to me just seems absolutely... Uh-oh. Yeah, that was a terrible idea. Okay, I think I may have pissed them off a little bit. I'm hoping I can outrun them. I mean, logically I should be able to. They are zombies after... Oh, what? What? It didn't even touch me. What the hell happened? Well, I guess I've been eaten by a zombie. Which are kind of bugging out in a horrendous way there. It's funny to compare this to DayZ, because DayZ is also really, really bad in a lot of different ways. But that's an alpha, and they're not expecting you to pay for it. Okay, yeah, I get it. I am dead. Can I, you know, restart then? Alright, just gonna sit there being dead. Alright, yep. Any time now would be nice. Do you want me to just leave the server or what? Okay. You know, just some indicator on the screen as to what's actually happening would be nice. The map, no. Inventory, no. Options. I have no idea what to do. I have no idea what to do here. I guess it's going to be a case of just... No, no. No, that's the sound bugging out. Alright. That's actually terrible. Alright. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to, like, join a different server or something, because I don't actually know what's happening. Well, this is good, because it gives me an opportunity, hopefully, to mess around with the options and try and get the FOV into something that doesn't suck. Alright. Well, that's gonna revive in an hour. Well, I see no point in actually reviving him. He didn't have anything, so creating a new character would be easy enough. Hardcore, your character gets deleted entirely. That, apparently, puts on an hour cooldown or something like that. So, this is the marketplace I was talking about. Now, I added some credits onto my account so I could demonstrate this for you. And as you can see, you can buy ammunition. It's pretty major stuff as well, you know, anti-material round stuff that's probably going to be hard to find. That being a 100-round drum magazine of NATO rounds for M4 and M16s. And what else can you buy? Well, you can buy the tactical knife here for in-game money. So there is an economy to it. Or you can just buy stuff like a bat. You can pick up a flashlight, a spiked bat. Stuff that's available for in-game credits. It's not a huge amount, but you can also stock up on food and things like that. I thought the point of a survival game was to, you know, discover it yourself. Rather than do stuff like that. Also would appear to be some kind of vaccine. You can set up barbed wire barricades and things like that. You can also buy add-ons for your weapons, assuming you have any. All credit to them, they don't actually have guns available for sale. So I guess it's not that bad. Let's pick up a spiked bat to see what happens. Just for the sake of it. We could even pick up a hat if we wanted. I wonder if you actually lose that when your character dies. That would be a real kick in the teeth, wouldn't it? A teddy bear rucksack, a fireman's helmet. A skull mask, because, you know, I'm 12 years old, right? I think buying the fireman's helmet seems interesting. There we go. I shall buy the fireman's helmet. Alright, well, I guess set up a new survivor then. Needless to say, I'm not too concerned about the name. Not at all. Alright, well, we'll just create him. I assume he uses the same heads. Alright, there's a little bit of character customization, not a huge amount. Options. Alright, there we go. There is no FOV slider. Oh, well, that's freaking wonderful, because the FOV... I don't know if it's the FOV or just the motion of the character that is making me not feel great, but yeah, I'm not feeling all that great. And the game, as I said, also runs like ass, and is not a particularly good-looking one either. So, that's not exactly the best start ever. Oh well, never mind. Let's try and play it and see if there's actually any value to it. So, what concerns me is that there seem to be a number of rather dishonest claims on the Steam page. Now, allow me to demonstrate. Allow me to explain. So, there is a claim that the game supports up to 100 players per server. And yet, the only servers on my list are up to 50. That would be half the value that is claimed. I could switch over to Europe and see if there's any 100-person servers there. Watching games, number of players. No, looks like all 50 to me, so I'm going to go with 100-person server is not actually right at all. That is a flat-out lie. As regards to the size of the world, according to this, each world has areas between 100 and 400 square kilometers. However, right now, there is only one map, that being Colorado, as you can see, and that is a 75 square kilometer map. So that's actually nowhere near what they're claiming. It's not ideal. So what else is there that doesn't seem to be in place? What appears to be a false advertisement? Well, apparently you can rent and create public or private servers, allocating spots to friends or clans. That is not available yet. All credit to Wimmy Millionaire on Reddit, actually, for coming up with this compilation, by the way, before anyone says that I stole it. I merely borrowed it. Gain experience points and spend them on dozens of available skills. There are actually no available skills in the game whatsoever, so there is no skill progression in the game right now. Meld of PvE and PvP. Well, there are no PvE servers. Something to bear in mind. And also the fact that these screenshots on Steam would appear to be somewhat dishonest, as in there are situations which would just flat out never happen, to the point where it's kind of misrepresenting the game. At least that's the theory. Alright, should I join a server with less players on it? I guess, you know, let's just join the one with 17. Then I can maybe just wander around, hopefully there'll be less zombies and I can deal with it. Although I do have a spiked bat. Not that I have any idea of how to actually equip the bloody thing. I'm not sure if that equips by default or anything like that. I should have probably gone to my inventory screen prior to joining the server. That would have actually made more sense. At least kind of I get a little bit of a kickstart as I try to figure this game out. Well, what the hell? Well, someone is that a person? That is actually a person, right? Yeah. Alright, so this person is a mysterious floating backpack. And is killing me. Well, this game is fantastic. That's that character completely the other way. Oh, wow, I was killed by the character because it took about a minute to spawn the models in. That's truly wonderful. What a great game this is. Alright. Okay, let's get out and find a different server and create a new character. I don't know how many character slots I've got. Only 5 by the looks of it, although I guess I could just, like, delete that one and create another one, so it's not really too big a deal. New character name, there we go. I love the way that it spawned 3 players in exactly the same spot on a 70-kilometer square map. That was a really smart thing to do. Truly wonderful. Alright, you are my new survivor. There we go. Let's go to the inventory. Can I equip the spiked bat? There's the spiked bat. So I assume I could probably put that in my inventory somewhere. There we go. Swap out the flashlight for it. And I could also wear my fireman's hat. I don't believe this actually gives any benefit whatsoever, but we're going to put it in there just for the hell of it. As you can see, I have a small backpack there, which apparently I can change. Looks like you can get more bag slots, although damned if I can figure out how. I guess you probably buy them in-game or whatever. The distinct lack of tutorial here is also quite amusing. You know, the thing about trying to improve rather than just straight up rip off a game like DayZ is that you would think you would try and put a little bit of effort into improving aspects of the game, just making them better. A tutorial is usually a good way of doing that, even if it's just a small one. You don't want to lead people by the nose in a survival sandbox game, but it would probably be a good idea if you at least provided some basic direction. As it turns out, there's none of that, but thankfully, since I've played DayZ, I kind of know what the jig is. Are we about ready? Wonderful. Is there anyone around here trying to kill me? No, probably for the best. My spiked bat doesn't have a model. Or maybe... Oh, great, I accidentally just ate that crap. And the zombies here already, that's wonderful. I guess things just haven't spawned in yet. Can I kill... Oh, I can kill the zombie. Wow, that's... Okay, so I guess the spiked bat is a fairly effective weapon, by the looks of it. Alright, let's have a look at the map and try and find out where we need to go. We're surviving, so we are looking for... I don't even know where I am on the map. There's a bunch of stuff circled. I guess this is me? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. So look. Yeah, that appears to be me. Okay. So, where do I want to go? Well, there's a ranger station up there. That seems like a fairly decent idea. You can't put a mark on the map or anything like that. Now, as you probably noticed in the setup screen, the skills thing is grayed out, so gaining experience is actually utterly worthless. Not something to really concern yourself with. Animation quality is kind of laughable, honestly. It's not what I would exactly describe as impressive. I mean, that's the attack animation, or one of it. The zombie just kind of went up to me and started to sort of gently stroke my face more so than anything else. Alright, well, I have a spiked bat, so the chances are I can take out a couple of zombies and maybe make my way into these houses here. Stealth sounds like a great idea in general, but I have... There we go. I don't know how they detect me, what level they would detect me at. There's this bar to the top right, but it's really hard to figure out exactly how much visibility that really is, how much visibility really matters. And honestly, if my spike bat is as effective as I think it is, then I guess it shouldn't really be too much of a problem. Oh, more zombies. Alright. Oh, they're not dead yet. Why is that? Just trying to strafe backwards just to avoid as many hits as I can. Why won't it die? You know, I have this feeling that this was a really terrible idea. It's very possible that I killed a player and not a zombie, but no, I think... My god, my sprinting is awful. These guys are probably not going to stop chasing me, are they? Come on. Oh, there's freaking more zombies everywhere. Actually finding a weapon and not getting horribly murdered by zombies seems like the biggest challenge at present. A spiked bat looks great, but it actually does bugger all, it seems. I'm not even sure how I managed to kill one zombie. Alright, am I out of the range of the zombies? No, they're still following me, because, you know, zombies. And I am exhausted. Yeah, this is clearly the best time for that to happen. Still being followed? Oh, no, it's alright, the zombies are bugging out, so... Doesn't seem like it's too much of a problem. Accessing that ranger station could be tricky. I guess a stealthy approach is required. Shall eat the granola bar. My health is extremely low, so I'm likely going to lose this character as well quite soon. Oh, great. Oh, for crying out loud. This is what the War Z is, apparently. It's freaking awful. Combat-wise, as you can see, it's terrible, and it's easy enough to say that, oh, it's, you know, it's not finished yet, blah, 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 or that DayZ's just as bad. It's like, yeah, you're right, DayZ is in many ways just as bad, but DayZ is also a freaking alpha mod for another game that doesn't cost any actual money. Now, if DayZ standalone comes out and it's as bad as this, then absolutely you should be criticizing that, but this is a game, this is version 1.0, and this has been released on Steam. It has been released on Steam. It is out. They are charging money for it. Not only are they charging money for the bloody thing, thankfully I'm able to outrun those zombies, they are also charging money for microtransactions, which is... Oh, good god, this entire place is completely saturated with zombies. How the hell are you supposed to get anything done in this stupid game? Yeah, thanks for that. Much appreciated. And I guess we quit the server now. Whoop-de-doo. This game is truly entertaining. They're charging money for microtransactions. I mean, it's incredible that they would think that was a good idea. And yet the game's clearly not finished. I mean, if it is, it's one of the worst games I've ever played. It handles terribly. Like, even your basic movement is awful. The animation quality is disastrously bad. The melee combat leaves a great deal to be desired. It's comically awful. And that was my bat. Alright, I guess so. You pay money for items that you will then lose. As you can see, there's no items in my inventory, so that's great. That's really good. I really feel like paying real money for items that I can lose in 2 seconds because some douchebag killed me at the spawning point. That sounds like a really wonderful plan. Thank God for that. Alright, let's go on another server. I was thinking maybe there wouldn't be so many zombies on a server with less players, but there seems to be, like, a ton of zombies around anything remotely useful. I need to try and find a house with something in it, actually get a weapon so I can survive. Because Lord knows the stealth aspect of this game doesn't seem to work. Let's give it another shot, shall we? We have not had a lot of success with the War Z thus far. You know, I want to believe that this game gets better later on in some aspects, but at the end of the day, I do first impressions, and if my first impression of a game is god-awful because everything I see is nothing short of shockingly bad, then I have to ask, why would I bother? Alright, there's a city in the center. That sounds like an awful idea. There's a meteorological station over in this direction. That might be a better shot. And give that go give that a bash. Maybe just try and sneak my way in. Keep an eye out for folks on the map. Does it see anything? Poppin's pretty bad as well. And I suppose if you're going to base zombie survival, so-called MMO, like this is what really kind of bothers me. Like, Jesus Christ, I slipped down there and lost a quarter of my health. That's wonderful. Anyway, if you were to call this an MMO, then you would kind of be lying. I mean, it's 50 players. Battlefield 3 has more than that. It's also got the same kind of persistence. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is not an MMO. What? You cannot be serious. Jesus Christ, I'm going to die just because I had the audacity to walk down a hill. Bloody hell. Can I swim? Is that something that the game... Really? Really? No. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So no, you cannot swim across this very shallow looking and... I mean, this is barely even a river. There's no current. This is not a river, this is just a really thin lake. And I can't get across it for God knows what reason. Oh, that's just great, that is. That's absolutely phenomenal. So, am I going to be walking around for 20 minutes doing absolutely nothing just to try and find a crossing to this bloody river? Or am I just going to have to go back the way that I came? Oh, my God. Alright. Fine, I guess we'll go back up the hill and hope that the hill doesn't try and kill me. Bandages are terrible for regaining health, it would appear. Alright, let's make our way back up there. And if the UI is anything to go by, then there's not all that many features in this game. Like, I don't see hunger, I don't see thirst, cold being an aspect or anything like that. So, it's not like it's an advancement on DayZ. It's far from it, as far as I can tell. I'm not the kind of person that believes that any game that imitates another should automatically be called a rip-off and basically decried from the rooftops as a terrible thing and literally Hitler. This is not what I believe. I think that gaming is a very iterative marketplace. I feel that the technology behind gaming and just the medium and the art in general is entirely based on building on the success of other people, and that's where some of the greatest games came from. We wouldn't have some of the greatest games in history were it not for the games that came before them and provided a benchmark. They provided a baseline. They provided mechanics that actually worked and were then integrated into a much better product. That is a good thing for gaming. A lot of games that you play are based on games that have come out previously. That is the reality of gaming. However, having said all of that, when it becomes so blatantly obvious that you look at something that's really successful and think, you know what, we could do that, or we can do it with a cash shop, and we can charge up front for it, then, and only then, do you start to say, you know what, this is actually genuinely a rip-off. Not in the sense that it takes elements of the other game, or copies it whole cloth, but in the sense that it is ripping off consumers. This is what I am currently getting out of the War Z. That and the fact that the game is astonishingly boring. It really, really is. Spawn in the middle of nowhere, then very, very, very slowly move towards something that may or may not have an item that you can use, or is probably full of zombies. Die, repeat. That sounds like a great thing. And of course, in the meantime, possibly get beaten to death with a flashlight by another survivor that can kill you in 4 hits before you can even see them, because they haven't loaded into the game yet. This game is clearly unfinished. There is no real doubt about that. They can call it Foundation Build all they like. They can call it 1.0 all they like. But it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. This is a terrible idea. I'm going to get absolutely murdered going towards this. But I don't really see anything else on the map that would be useful. It's not like I can get into the military base. And how the hell am I going to manage that? It'll be very, very tricky indeed. But fine, I guess we're going towards the city then. What choice do we have? It's like I have to get items. This guy being constantly out of breath. I mean, this guy's supposed to be ex-military. He can run for about 10 seconds before he gets tired. He's not even carrying it. He's carrying a flashlight, a can of Coke, and a bloody cereal bar. That is not particularly weighty. Let's head towards the city, shall we? See how this one goes. Probably not very well. And the War Z, I think, really blows the lid off something that is becoming increasingly problematic on Steam. Valve does not check games before they come out. At all. At all. As a result, what we had is a bunch of greenlight releases, which included Towns. Towns is a game that is clearly unfinished and had a lot of bugs and basically has no tutorial whatsoever. That game was released on Steam for money, with no indicator whatsoever that the game was still very much in either late alpha or early beta stages. For a time, I believe a warning label was actually put on the Towns page, however that has since been removed. It's been added to the description in kind of a misleading manner. Oh god, it's great, it's surrounded by water. There's actually no way for me to get in here because my character can't swim. Anyway, there was a warning label up, it's gone, now it's been integrated into the description saying that we are always updating the game to improve your experience and add new features. No, say it straight out, this game is not finished. You are buying into a beta. Or an alpha, more likely an alpha. Tell people that. Be abundantly clear. You know, I can tell you a service that does that is actually responsible. That's Desura. Desura is a client that's like Steam. They focus on a lot of indie games, and they also do a bunch of stuff with alpha funding. They have a section called alpha funding. They clearly mark what is an alpha and what is not, and it is blindingly obvious what you're getting into. Well, this is wonderful. I can't even get in that way. I guess heading towards the freeway might be a decent plan. Oh, this is the most boring thing I've played since Dear Esther, quite frankly. At least Dear Esther looked good. This game certainly frickin' doesn't. Man, oh man. Is there even a holster button? I have to ask, because running around with a flashlight seems like a really terrible idea. Quick switch, toggle night vision, next item. What? Grave? What is I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't know about a freaking thing called grave. All right, empty hands, backspace. There we go. Finally found it. H for holster would have made more sense, you know, but never mind. Again, that's a minor complaint, not something I'm too concerned about. To mention the fact that the game has kind of made me feel sick already in terms of its horrendous movement and narrow FOV. I'm not gonna lie to you. I came into this game with a very negative impression to begin with, because I've read all the controversy surrounding War Z over the past few months. I've read the fact that guys asking for a refund have been threatened with being put on a global payment blacklist. So, oh, bollocks. Alright. I guess we're being sneaky. A global payment blacklist. So the guys that accept payments for the War Z basically would be told that this guy is untrustworthy, and then you would be unable to buy games, or just, in fact, buy an awful lot of things from anything that used that particular payment system. Well, there's absolutely no way to sneak around here whatsoever, so I figure there's no point in going this way. The sneaking is nothing short of laboriously terrible. You know, it would be really great if we could just access it by water, but no, you can't swim. For God knows whatever reason. So that is a really nasty little bit of business practice. There have been rumors that people were just straight out banned so that they would buy more copies. There were rumors that the way of dealing with hackers, which are apparently rampant in the game already, was to just ban a lot of people at random to scare the hackers into not hacking anymore. You know, this is all speculation. It's difficult to find proof of all of this, but the sheer amount of bad press this game has gotten up to this point makes me astonishingly wary, and everything I'm playing of it thus far indicates to me that the game is just garbage. It's not ready. They shouldn't be charging for it. They certainly shouldn't be charging microtransactions. And the business model with microtransactions is horrible anyway. You buy an item that you then lose. You lose it. I mean, come off it. There's no way in a million years that that should ever be the case in any game. I can understand it maybe for consumables, but just straight up items? It's ridiculous. But the fact of the matter is the marketplace shouldn't even be there to begin with. Now, it's not only the case that the marketplace is a bad idea. You're buying items for a game that's very much a survival game. But it also comes down to the fact that it's implemented badly. So it's a double whammy of horrible. What the hell is... There's nothing here. I'm trying my best just to find something useful. I can head towards a NORAD military base, I suppose, but good luck sneaking around that, considering. I can't get into the city because it's covered in zombies and I have no items to actually use. There's no way for me to sneak in there because, well, it's a flat surface. There's clearly nowhere to hide on that entrance, and I can't swim over water, so... I guess I'm going to have more of a chance at the military base. As you can see, these areas right here, I believe, are safe zones. But I can't buy anything because I don't have any money. So I don't know how useful that would be. There's also a mission system here, but damned if I can distress, oh my god, and then I guess you can call for stuff, but I don't really have anything to reward people with, so there's no point in setting that up. Obviously with 50 players, you're going to be running into more players, but my hope was if I go into a server with less players in it, there'll be less zombies, and there will be less players just trying to horribly murder me by default, because there doesn't actually appear to be any reason whatsoever not to kill people for their stuff. Just being beaten to death by with a flashlight is always super entertaining, right? And my god, the movement is so painfully slow. Yes, I'm so exhausted. Oh god, I'm so exhausted. Look at how quickly the stamina bar goes down. Yeah? It takes about 10 seconds of sprinting. And sprinting barely moves quickly anyway. This is an absolute joke. Now, I think there's like food and drink down to the bottom right there. Yeah, as far as I can tell, that's what that is. I can't even tell what the icons are. They're just so stupidly stylized. And of course, since the game has no tutorial, how the hell are you supposed to know, right? Well, you're not. So I ate the granola bar, which helped my stamina a bit, but now I'm moving at the snail's pace once again. Very, very slowly moving towards the NORAD military base, where I'll be probably eaten by zombies and have to start the game again. Because, yay, that is a truly amazing thing. What is it with how sparse this map is? And at least in DayZ, we came across like some farmhouses, just some basic houses that weren't too covered by zombies. We were at least able to get an axe or a basic handgun or something like that. Here, it's just, there's just nothing for miles, and everything on the map seems to be completely and totally covered in zombies. So how the hell are you supposed to access it, I have to wonder. It seems like I'm missing, a big trick about this game, but honestly, it seems like you have to get lucky to even have any enjoyment of the game. Come across a couple of people that don't want to murder you, hopefully run into a firearm of some description, pick up some money, go to the safe zones and buy some more stuff. I mean, that's a case of finding money in the first place. I have no cash. None. I don't even see where it is actually indicated here. Or do you even have to buy it outside of the game and put it into your global inventory? Maybe you have to do that. Kind of derpy way of doing things. God. I don't know how long I've been playing this already, but it's very clear that I'm completely wasting my time. I try not to come into games with a deliberate negative bias, but as I said, it is impossible to do that, and it seems like everything I've heard has kind of been validated. This game sucks. It's barely even in a gamey state, and the worst thing is the fact that Valve has allowed this game to be on their service because they know there's a lot of hype surrounding it and they know it'll make them a bunch of money. It's already number 2 on the top sellers chart. And all the microtransactions are ready to go. You can buy it with gold coins to start with, and get into the game with a bunch of money. And half the advertised features on the Steam page aren't actually there. So it's false advertising for one thing, which I can tell you for a fact is illegal in most countries. And it's once again a case of Valve saying, we're going to put this game on our service because we know it's going to make money, and we're not going to take any responsibility whatsoever for the fact that it's bloody terrible and it's clearly unfinished. This is an alpha. It might say it's version 1.0, but no, this is clearly an alpha. And it's not a very good one at that. Valve needs to start taking more responsibility. If Valve are taking money, which they are, and I hear the value is around 30%, which is about the same that Apple takes in the App Store, then they should be taking the kind of responsibility that Apple take. You could say whatever the hell you like about the App Store. You could slag off Apple for all you damn well please, but I will tell you this. They actually check the games and programs that go on their service prior to them going on there. There is a lengthy approval process where they actually check if the bloody thing works. Here, the game works only barely. That, and more to the point, usually they're just a bit more strict in general, and Steam's just got this weird idea about which games go on the service and which do not. I mean, let's think about a couple of games that had problems getting on the service. Space Pirates and Zombies is a really good game. It took, like, almost a year for that to get on Steam, because they just flat out refused their first request. For no reason. And of course, they don't give an explanation. They say, you can't ask for an explanation. Oh no, it's a slight slope. Let's be careful about navigating it because I don't want to lose any health for whatever reason. Unepic Game is still not on the service. That is a great game, and it is still not available via Steam. Repeated requests have gone denied. La Mulana is still not on Steam. There are so many examples, and Greenlight was supposed to fix this process, but all that's ended up happening is we've got games like Towns Greenlight, and then suddenly what happens? We find out that Towns isn't finished. They put it on Steam as quickly as they can to make as much money as they can, and the game is blatantly not ready. With the War Z, it's not even a case of Greenlight. The fact of the matter is that the guys behind War Inc. released this game, and as a result, they were able to just get it on Steam without any problem whatsoever because they have a previous title there. It goes on sale for $15, clearly not ready, and it's suckering people in a big way because people want a game like DayZ, but they want it to have a few convenience features and things like that, and it's almost like that's what War Z actually tried to do, but I'm not seeing any bloody convenience here. I am seeing a gigantic waste of my time. There is nothing to it. And you might say, oh, well, it gets so much better if certain circumstances arise. That's not good enough. That is not good enough. I can't make my own fun when there's no fun to be had. I'm running around a horrible wasteland with nothing in it, avoiding the occasional packs of zombies because there's no way in a million years I could possibly fight them, trying desperately to find an item that makes this game fun. And you know what? I'm failing miserably to find it. You can say whatever the hell you like about sandbox games. And yeah, there are some instances where that's actually an excuse, but even then, those games are structured in some way. You will actually find enjoyment from the very start. God, you know, compare this to Minecraft. Yeah, I'm going to say something positive about Minecraft. That's how terrible this thing clearly is. At least with Minecraft, you go in there, you start punching trees, and you start building stuff. Like, from the very start, you're dumped in the middle of a randomly generated world, and you start doing stuff. And then night comes, and then you've got to avoid the inevitable spawn of enemies. There's some structure to that, even if the structure is implied rather than forced upon you. This game has so little of that. It gives you no idea whatsoever what to do, how to approach an area, how to actually avoid zombies in any way without getting horribly murdered, where to find items. I'm currently approaching the NORAD military base, and I'm hoping against hope that I can actually find an item here. I'm going to very, very slowly crawl my way forward. I'm going to fast forward this, because this is really boring, and I have very little else to say about this game. So, I'm just going to do this, I'm going to fast forward, and then, once I've done that, we can talk a little bit more. Well, as you can see, my attempts at stealth didn't work out so well. I'm currently in this area. I'm thinking the way they've designed this, I may be able to jump over. I'm hoping I can. No, can I crouch under? Can I? No, because as you can very clearly see, that is in fact a solid surface as opposed to anything else. Alright, let's hope I don't actually take any damage from landing on it then. Go up and up. And up. And there's nothing here. Like, there's no items whatsoever. At least, not in this area. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything even remotely worthwhile in this entire freaking zone. I'm also bleeding everywhere, which is not so helpful. I believe there's someone else in here as well, but... It's like, oh, a place with a lot of cargo containers. That'll have some useful items, right? Nope. Clearly not. Yeah, that's not so good. Can I enter here? No. Absolutely not. Get back. Alright, well... This is still the War Z, I guess. And I'm probably gonna die now. Oh, great. I can't see because... Yeah. 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 This game sucks. It is utter rubbish. And quite frankly, Valve should be ashamed that they even allowed it to be on Steam in this state. It is an unfinished, completely reprehensible, and utterly irredeemable farce. And if you spend money on it, then you are very silly. Please do not reward this business practice. And in fact, I would strongly suggest that you, if possible, send a little bit of feedback to Valve and say, hey, why exactly are games like this allowed on your service? It's a disgrace. An absolute disgrace. I'll see you next time.